For nearly 70 years, the USSR was a global superpower, building mega cities, nuclear weapons, hidden bunkers, and entire towns that were wiped from official maps. One of those towns, Paldiski.
It was closed totally. The city was not even on maps because there was a nuclear submarine training center, the biggest in Soviet Union.
And today, I'm here to see what's left behind. Well, this is different. I feel like I'm in a video game, do you know? I don't know how to explain it. It's actually so quiet here. It's both nice, but unsettling. When researching this video, a lot of people said that Estonians are very quiet. I didn't think they'd be this quiet though. Like, I can't hear a thing. You could literally hear a pin drop. So initially I wasn't too sure what to think about Paldiski. It had a different feel to anywhere else I've ever traveled. Ooh, look at you, Mr. Worldwide. So before I went and explored this town, I met up with a local historian who gave me a lot more context about the history of Paldiski.
The town is over 300 years old. There was a naval base. Like you know, Russians closed this city. It was closed totally. Even roads were closed. Soldiers came to the train to check the papers. Only special permit you needed to have to visit this city. Russians had in that training center 2 working nuclear reactors.
Right here in Paldiski?
Yes. There were no nuclear submarines here, but the training center and these training facilities were exact copies of a real nuclear submarine. When it opened up, of course, Russian military forces left, but some people who worked with those nuclear reactors they remained, over 100 actually officers, but overnight they became as international specialists.
Okay.
Because the reactor, they needed to close everything, and there was quite a lot of work with these reactors. But
So now with all that in mind, let's get exploring Paldiski. It is a bit crazy that I'm here, because if you like flash back to like 1990, I would have never been allowed here. Actually, I wouldn't have been born. Aside from that, like no one was allowed here. Not to mention I am like really in the back arse of nowhere. I said earlier when I got off the bus, it felt like a video game. That video game is probably Silent Hill. First up on the agenda is Paldiski's Pakri Lighthouse. I've actually never been in a lighthouse, so this is really a day of firsts for me, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things are on this channel, to be fair. Alright, let's get going. Historically speaking, Pakri Lighthouse is very important to Paldiski. However, I'll tell you more about it once we get there. It's not that far, right? Oh, for fuck. I'm just on an empty road. I can see a bit of the lighthouse though, in the distance. You better be appreciating this, because I've been up since 3 a.m. I'm still walking around the middle of buttfuck nowhere, all to learn a bit of history. Ah, that's lovely, man. Look at this. Oh my god, I'm so old. Fella sees a bench and spontaneously combusts. I always wonder how I find myself in these situations. I'm in the middle of Estonia. I'm not even in the middle, I'm in northwest Estonia. Oh yeah, I know how I found myself in these positions. I put myself in them. I did this for some reason. And there it was, Pakri Lighthouse, a giant beacon of history. Whoa. This lighthouse has been on these cliffs since 1889. That's right, it's older than your mother. When the Soviets turned this town into a classified nuclear experiment, the lighthouse found itself behind fences and totally off limits. Still shining, but only for those inside the Iron Curtain. Look at that, man. It's mega. What the fuck? I'm in a lighthouse. How has this happened? From the top of this lighthouse you can see many different things. A fort built by Peter the Great 300 years ago, remnants of a barracks where the Soviets would question people who were on the sea without authorization, remnants of the Soviet naval training facility, Big Pakri and Little Pakri Island, which we will get into much later in this video, and there was something else I saw that really sparked my curiosity. Next stop is right there, but if you look just beyond that, just here, that is actually where the nuclear naval base used to be. Now, unfortunately, I did get the bad news that it isn't open to the public. Crazy. It's just there, like. I begin my descent. Look, I'm gonna be real with you. My quads were burning by the time I got up to the top there, and I was absolutely cooking up there. Bro goes to a whole fucking lighthouse, and the only thing he can take away was it was warm. Who'd have thought? High up in the sky, warm. Next, we're on our way to an abandoned Soviet watchtower. I never thought I'd ever say that I'd be visiting one of those. Did also get a warning that there is venomous snakes in the area where it is. So if any of my family are watching this, pretend I didn't say that. Where I need to go is in those trees. Yippee! So if I get bitten by a snake, that's just not an epic gamer moment. Let's be real, guys. Oh my God. Shit just got real. Like, this is wild. That is where they used to look out, potentially shoot at people. Don't really know. Oh my God, you can see like the remnants of a fence. Those little two poles there. I'm in the thick of it right now. Actually eerily quiet. Crazy aura. There's a Soviet watchtower. Insane. Just absolute, like, this place is just steeped in history. Like, to just have something like that lying around. I know it's very clearly not an ideal memory to have, but it is nonetheless a crazy one. Absolutely insane. I will have a look at the entrance, fuck it. That's the entrance there, I think. Look at that. Wow. This is the thing, this feels so much different to like my other travel videos where I'm like getting outside my comfort zone, you know? Yeah, happy-go-lucky going around the place. No, that's a real ass piece of history there, you know? It's a stark reminder of what Paldiski formerly was. Beyond that is the nuclear base where the Soviets made all their nuclear submarines. For the vibes, it's not really vibes, is it? Like, I've never seen anything like that ever. It sounds a bit stupid to say something like that, but I'm not somebody that like overly traveled. So to see something like that, it's just, I don't know, it's just a bit, it's like things did happen. I know that's such a vague way of putting it. I know that's such a vague way of putting it, but it's like cool, but it's also like a stark reminder of where things were and how things are now. Okay, you may recall two islands that I mentioned I could see from the top of the lighthouse. Right behind me is a significant part of this story. That is Big Packery and Small Packery. Fun fact about Big Packery and Small Packery is Big Packery is actually smaller than Small Packery. So it's like calling a guy with straight hair curly or calling a tall guy shorty, you know? What are you talking about? The obvious reason it was hidden from the map was because of their nuclear activity, building nuclear submarines, bombs, whatever it may be. But specifically, in the middle of both those islands, aircrafts used to fly from the eastern side of Russia, almost closer to Japan, and they used to drop their bombs there as target practice. Nowadays, I believe there's an animal sanctuary on one of them. I don't know which one. I should have probably asked. But it is crazy to think that about 30 odd years ago, there was actual nuclear activity going on right there. Obviously, there's a lot of risks with nuclear bombs and bombs in general. And Paldiski unfortunately found that out. 2 bombs were dropped on Paldiski by accident. As they were aiming for those islands, they ended up aiming for the actual town. Luckily, the first bomb malfunctioned, so nothing happened. It didn't make any damage. There was no losses. Incredible luck. And then the second bomb dropped, and the same thing happened, and it was actually kind of significant because I don't know which bomb it was, but one of them did drop on a school. Needless to say, if either of those bombs go off, it's an absolute disaster for the whole of Paldiski. So that is pretty much everything I've learned today. I've seen some things that obviously weren't around in my lifetime. I'm 25 for those of you that don't know, so all of this happened well before I was even born. But it is just insane to think that like this was completely closed off. Like, who knows in like 20, 40 years where is gonna be completely closed off or open. You can hear about this stuff. When you come and actually experience it, it's a different story altogether, you know? Oh, Paldiski. So as the sun set, my time in Paldiski was coming to an end. A town that once didn't exist on maps and still kind of feels like it's in hiding. Although from talking to people here, you get the sense that Paldiski isn't just a forgotten Cold War relic. It's a town trying to move forward while still haunted by a past it wasn't allowed to talk about. It's an unusual place with quiet energy, but honestly, it is insanely fascinating. I climbed the tallest lighthouse in Estonia, found a Soviet watchtower, and stared out at islands where the USSR tested bombs. This town is truly unique, and I hope I was able to capture that with this video. I want to give a huge thank you to Kirsty and Tina who helped me out with this video. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, please subscribe. It really helps me out a whole lot in making these videos, and hopefully we can make many more like this in the future. Thanks so much for supporting the channel, and thank you for watching. Drop off steeper than my TikTok career. It's a nice little joke for you lot.